Hello and welcome to another episode of the Wandering Watercolor. Today we are working on the 7th page of the Cute Cat watercolor coloring book that I made myself. I make everything by hand using lithographs, so I really do appreciate you for purchasing the book from me. And if you are interested in purchasing that or any of the other watercoloring books that I make, it'll be on my Etsy shop or my website. The links will be in the description below. Otherwise, if you just want to paint along, you could just kind of pause the picture. You can see the cat and then just kind of draw it out yourself and then paint along with us. Either way, let's get to it. Okay, so this cat is going to be relatively easy to paint. The whole thing is pretty much just it's just an orange colored cat. It's just an orange kitten. It's all orange. There's some white that we'll leave here in the face. The eyes are green, although this cat's pupils are highly dilated, so it'll mostly be black. And then we'll do a pinkish orange color for the nose and ears. So it should be pretty simple. As always, I do have a scrap piece of paper on the side if needed, along with my rag, my brush pen. This is my palette. I make these palettes. This is the same palette that if you purchased from me, it's the exact same colors, exact same brush. So it'll be easy to follow along. These are just soap dishes. You can get them at any store, or you could just use like a regular porcelain plate that you have at home. And I'm using a jar of water as opposed to using the reservoir in this brush pen. These are excellent when you're on the go, but just using the water directly from the jar will help me not having to go and refill the little reservoir. Anyway, let's get to painting. So we're gonna grab some of the yellow orange in here, and I'm gonna get a lot of pigment. When I'm painting with brighter colors like yellow, orange, light blue, I'll often just do a heavy pigment load just because it helps them stand out more. We'll get some of the red here. And it's looking pretty good. I'm probably going to make it a little more yellowish though. And so we'll do one layer of this, and then we'll do another layer for the shading. Actually, here, what we'll do with this is we have a pretty heavy pigment load here, so we'll just go ahead and let's color in the tail first. What we'll do is we'll go like this, just very confident, bold strokes right here for the tail. All right, we'll go like that. You can tell that it's a very heavy pigment load. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to take our brush, rinse it. There's still a very slight amount of color left on it, but what we'll do is we'll just kind of grab from the color we already laid down and then just pull it out like that. There we go. Very quick. We will do the same for the upper part of the body. I should have mentioned the light is coming in from this direction, from up and down, diagonally going to the right. So the darker area will be over here. I'll go like this. Like that. Doesn't have to be perfect. A little more right here. Just kind of laying it down. Orange is also one of the harder colors to paint with because it's a very small part of the color spectrum. Okay, we'll grab some water and then grab more water and dilute it. Not gonna worry too much about it. And then you can tell we're just going for less pigment, more water towards the back. That really helps emphasize the light. We'll get some more pigment. Go on the side here, the ear, and kind of color that in. And just rinse it off. And just grab more. Just less pigment, more water. And then we do have pigment, or this part of the cat is also colored, so we'll have to go like this. There we go. Oh, went into the eye a little bit. It's okay. There we go. Okay. And grab some water. Right there. Okay, not bad. Hey, we did that really quick. That's a lot of color that we laid down. We'll go back in some more over here at the bottom. Do some short strokes. Emphasize the hairs in the tail. Go like that. And we can go back into the tail itself, show a little more variability. And as the brush strokes themselves become lighter, you can maybe move up a little bit. It doesn't have to be all precisely a certain way. And same here. Go a little bit, show the fur. There we go. Like that. And a little more. And we'll go over here. A little bit in there. And okay, so that's looking pretty good. This part not so much over here, but that's okay. Kind of messed it up a little bit. It'll dry much lighter though, so it's not gonna be it's not gonna stand out too much, especially when we lay in more of the shadow tones. It'll look good. Okay, just rinse our brush here. Now let's make the nose, ears, and a little bit of the tongue sticking out there, or bottom lip. So we'll get some of the red and some of the white. I often don't use white when I'm painting, but I include it in these just because it makes mixing things like skin tones and just fleshy parts is just much easier to attain the correct look. Okay, so this looks fine. It's kind of like a pink salmonish color. We'll go in, throw a little bit in there. A little bit in there. Actually, what I'm going to do with that one is I'm going to rinse a little bit, brush off the pigment, and then go in and just kind of pick some of it off. Rinse it off, rub it off, same thing. Pick some of it off, kind of give a little bit of a depth there. There we go. It gives it a little bit of an effect. Okay, and now for the nose. Let's put that in right in the nose. And for the bottom lip here. Okay, got that. There's some water droplets here. Okay, not bad so far. We're gonna mix the eye color. Eye color is green. This color here is more blue-green, so we will add some of this yellow and then some of the orange. There we go. That's a better green. And let me get my test sheet here. Get a little bit of, okay, that's fine. So we're just gonna go over the entire pupil, like the whole thing. I'm gonna go like that. And like that. Okay, gonna clean or take off the pigment on my rag and pick up some of it. Pick up some of it here and here. There we go. Just picking it up directly off of the rag and then off the eyeballs. Okay. That's looking pretty good. Now we're gonna add the shadows here to emphasize where the light is coming from. To do that, we will... Okay, we have our orange here. You know, I'll add a little bit of more orange to it. And then more orange. And a little bit of burgundy, because that'll darken up the orange. And then we'll get some of this blue-green here. It's not a pure green, it's more of a blue-green. And so if you want to darken a color, a good way to do it is the complementary version of that color. But blue is the complementary to orange. So we're going to go with blue-green because it's a little closer to orange itself, because we don't want to darken it too much. We just want to give it kind of like a more duller, darker orange appeal. And I don't like how this one came out. This one looks too dull. So we'll go ahead and we'll pick up some of the brown. Okay, there we go. And then we'll get some more of the orange. We don't want it to look too dull. Okay, and get more of the brown. Get some more water. My brown's almost finished here. So gotta switch it out soon. Okay, so we do that. Okay, I'm pretty comfortable with how that looks. Let's see. No, that's too brown. So we're gonna add more of the orange. More of the orange, more of the red. We need it to be a little redder. Let's see. Getting there, not quite, but almost. Let's see, maybe a little burgundy. Let's see, that's better. Okay, yeah, that'll look fine. And get some more water, mix it in with the pigment. So I don't want it to be too heavy of a pigment load if I need to kind of change the shadow tone. Alright, so I'm gonna go right there. And go like that. Go a little bit right here. A little bit on the back here. I know that it looks very dark, but don't worry about it right now because it will dry much lighter. So just kind of lay it down and put in here. Okay. Down here for the tail, just kind of like quick strokes, kind of loose. Intentionally trying to leave that texture in there because it gives it more of an appeal. And then over here, some of the, gonna lighten the pigment load by diluting it with water, and we'll do some strokes over here just to show some of the brush, or not brushes, hairs on the cat. And then with a lighter load we may go in and do a little more darkening, but it's not as much because the pigment load is less. There we go. Okay, maybe a little here, a little on the ear. Gonna brush that off, kind of blend that in. Okay, not bad. Not bad at all. I'm liking how the colors are looking on this one. Okay, now the cat is just basically floating, so we should put somewhat of a shadow right here, and for the tail, just to show which way the light is coming and which way it's going. But I don't want to use green or blue or red because orange is a strong color, but it's also you don't want to add too much of a complementary color or anything that's far away from it. So I'm just gonna kind of go with a neutral kind of black, and this is a very dark blue black, so it's not gonna distract or clash with the color that's already on the paper. So we're just gonna, and it's okay if it's a little darker, we're not gonna dilute the pigment too much. We'll go ahead and we'll just put a line right there and go like that, like that, like that, like that. And down here also where the tail is, kind of like that. It's a fluffy tail, so it casts a large shadow, and just a little bit over here to show. There we go. Okay, that's better. The cat's no longer floating. You know, it has a little bit of, it shows that it's sitting on the surface. And now for the eyeballs, there, that area is dry. We're just gonna go ahead and pick up just straight pigment and just go in straight in the pupil. Just go slowly and carefully. You can try leaving a little highlight, but that may be difficult. So I'm just fully coloring them in. There we go. And I'm gonna clean up some of the pigment, try to make some small brush strokes, and we're gonna go in right where the mouth is. I may have overdone that. That's it's a bit much there. Where the little nostrils are. So I'm gonna brush off or clean off the brush in the water, clean it off in the rag, and kind of just try to pick up some of that. There we go. Okay. So that's looking pretty good. We're almost done here. There are a couple of things. One is we need a darker brown or orange brownish color. So we're gonna put some of that here, get some of this black, go like that, and yeah, we're gonna need more. Okay, so that looks like a decent shadowy color. I'm gonna go in right here and just do some strokes like that to add a little more depth. I'm gonna do the same right here, just a little more, not too much, just a little more. And the same right here. Okay. Also in the ears, where the head is, just a little bit right there. Okay, that's looking better, more defined. And I am also going to do that for the eyes. Right there. Right there, just slowly. Okay. A little bit for the nose. I'm going very slowly here. I don't want to mess up again. So that's looking good. A little more right here. Oh boy, yeah, this didn't come out right here really well. But that's looking like it's almost it. Almost, we're almost done. The last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a little bit of the brown that I had left over on the brush, get a little bit of the black. I'm gonna get a very faint kind of shadowy color like that. Okay, this is perfect. I'm gonna lay it down right here, and right here, right here, and then also just darken some of this like that. And pretty much done. You can see that the light is coming from this way. It's got the shadows in the face. Got some over here, but I don't even know how that happened or when it happened. But I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of do that. Okay. I'm pretty happy with how that looks. The eyes are still drying, and there's some parts that are still drying, but for the most part, that's the finished product, and it looks pretty good. Okay, thank you for joining me on this episode. Hopefully that made sense. Let me know what your finished product looks like. I'm interested to see how people color their coloring books. The different pages. Obviously you can render it any way that you want. You can change where the light is coming from, the color of the cat, And I'm just really interested to see what people do. So feel free to tag me on Instagram, or you drop a comment on YouTube. Whatever works. Either way, I appreciate you. Thank you for joining me, and soon I'll post the next page, and I will see you next time.